Hello friends, this is Jennifer Terri and welcome to my channel. In this video, we will talk about how to prepare for your flight to the Philippines. Before we start, if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I make travel updates and news in the Philippines. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. In this video, we will talk about how to prepare for your flight to the Philippines. So the Philippines is pretty strict on their inbound rules, but with the lifting of the restrictions on the 36 countries, we see some light in the tunnel. So in this video, I'll help you prepare for your flight to the Philippines to avoid hassle, to avoid being offloaded, and as much as possible, make your travel convenient and easy. So our first step in preparing for your flight to the Philippines is number 1, immigration. Know if you are allowed to enter the country. Okay, so the Philippines as of now is still closed for international tourism. Regular tourists are still not allowed. As of the current inbound rules, the Philippines only allows foreign nationals who are immediate families of Filipinos, former Filipinos, and foreign nationals who are holding certain long-term visas. Okay? On the other hand, if you're a Filipino citizen or you are a dual Filipino citizen, you don't have to worry about these things. You are allowed to enter the Philippines ever since this pandemic, okay, has started. You're always allowed. So assuming that you are allowed and that you already have a set date for your flight to the Philippines, you now have a ticket. Your second step of preparation is that check if you need a pre-flight COVID testing. Do you need a negative COVID result before traveling to the Philippines? So the answer is that it depends on your airlines and your transiting country. So with the Philippine government does not require a negative COVID result prior to arrival in the country because they will test you when you get there. So while you're still outside the Philippines, you need to contact your airlines. Do you require COVID result, or does my transiting country require a negative COVID result? Only your airlines can tell you that. So make sure that you ask them. And if you're flying with Philippine Airlines, don't worry because they don't require COVID result. But again, just ask or research if your transiting country requires a negative COVID result. Next step for your preparation, number 3, is register for the COVID test. So even if you tested before your flight, even if you have a negative COVID result with you, you will still be tested in the Philippines. And the new testing rules, which took effect last February 1, is that you will be tested on the 6th day from your date of arrival. So register for the COVID test as early as 3 days prior to your departure. Okay, so pre-book or register for your COVID test. If you're flying with PAL, they have their own testing laboratory. It's called Detoxicare, so you just have to register through a link, and then you will receive an email confirming your registration, and you will receive a QR code. So for that, I'll put the link in the description box. If you are not flying with Philippine Airlines, you can register through PadLab or Red Cross. With PadLab, I'll put the link in the description box as well. And with Red Cross, I'll put the link in the description box. Now, do you have to pay to register for the COVID test? If you're flying with Philippine Airlines or you're availing PadLab, you don't have to prepay. You can pay when you get to the Philippines. You can pay at the airport. However, with Red Cross, they have a link that requires prepayment. And again, if you register, it is a 2-step registration process. Your registration is completed once you receive an email containing a QR code. Okay, so make sure that you have that QR code. If you don't get the QR code, then something must be wrong. Now, irregardless of which testing center you avail, whether PadLab or Philippine Airlines or Red Cross, the cost will be the same. That's 4,000 pesos. Your next step for your preparation, number 4, is pre-book your quarantine hotel. So if you are a foreign national, you're a former Filipino, you're holding only a foreign passport, you must do this before you travel to be allowed entry. So that is a requirement by the Philippine immigration. It's non-negotiable. You need to pre-book your quarantine hotel before you arrive to the Philippines. For how long? For 7 nights. So ensure that you book in a hotel accredited by the government for mandatory quarantine. Yes. Okay, so with the lifting of restriction comes with also that you can stay now with a mandatory quarantine. You don't have to stay in a stringent quarantine if you don't have the symptoms. So book in a mandatory quarantine hotel. There's so many options. There's more than 200 quarantine hotels you can choose from. There's 5-star, there's 3 stars. So many options, guys. If you're curious to know, if you want to know, check out some affordable options, check out my last video, affordable quarantine hotels, and that one has already include meals, so it's very convenient, really. So check that out if you're looking for an affordable option. And if you're thinking, can I use online booking services? Yes, you can. You can use Agoda, hotel.com. You can use those sites as long as that you book in a quarantine hotel that is accredited by the government. For the complete list, I'll have the link on the description box. But as of now, I checked today, the website of the Bureau of Quarantine is still down. So I'll have a temporary replacement, which is the Philippine Airlines website. It's not complete, but you can still use it as a basis. Okay, and if you are arriving in Cebu or in Clark, I also have the list of the quarantine hotels there. I'll have the link in the description box. Your next preparation, number 5, is download the TRAZE app and register. For those of you who are not familiar with this, TRAZE app is the unified tracing app used in all Philippine airports. So just download the app. You can find them at App Store, Apple Store, Play Store. You can even if you have Huawei phone, you can also download it. I'll have the link in the description box for that. It's really easy, very straightforward to just save that app. You should have that before you travel to the Philippines. Next up, our 6th preparation is that just bring extra money for extra expenses. Aside from the COVID test, aside from the quarantine hotel, you'll have other expenses. Just bring extra money. Okay, so for example, you want to bring some money for your expense for your airport to hotel transfer. Let's say you didn't pre-arrange a hotel transfer, then you can avail metered taxis, coupon taxis, so you need money for that. Now, if you're overseas, you don't have Philippine cash, you can also, if you have a Philippine account, you have an ATM, you can send money through your own account and withdraw through an ATM machine at the airport. Or you can just bring in your foreign currency and then exchange it at the money exchange booths at the airport. Don't worry, they are open. Next preparation would be number 7, bring face mask and face shield. Okay, so if you do not know, Philippines require all passengers to wear face shield and face mask throughout their flight. Now, I know some airlines will give this for free, like Philippine Airlines, they do. But just in case your airlines don't, just bring in. I know face shield is not commonly used in other countries. I think it's only the Philippines who requires face shields in public, but yeah. That's how they do it. Just bring face shield and face mask. You can buy face shield online, easy. Our next preparation, number 8, is bring snacks or battery back. Flight is long haul. You're coming from Europe, Americas. That's a long haul flights. So very important. Your phone is a very important tool in your flight to the Philippines because your phone will have your TRAZE app. Your phone will have your QR code. So you should make sure that your phone is working when you get to the Philippines. So if your phone doesn't have a long battery life, then bring a power bank. And number 9 preparation, get enough rest and good sleep before your flight to the Philippines. And my last tip is that stay updated with the ever-changing travel rules in the Philippines. If you are a follower of this channel or if you have been following the travel news in the Philippines, you know this. You know what I'm talking about. The Philippine government changes their rules up to the very last minute. If they want to ban certain countries, they do it in less than a day. Yeah, that's how they are. So I would really strongly suggest that you follow news agencies in the Philippines, GMA News, CNN, ABCBN, things like that. You also follow the Facebook page of the Bureau of Immigration. I'll have that link in the description box. You follow the Facebook page of the Office of the Presidential Spokesperson. I'll have that link in the description box. So my suggestion is, yeah, you keep up, and you can do that when you follow my channel. That's what I do. If there's any changes, I would make a video straight away on that day, sometimes even less than an hour. Since the new travel news is released, yeah, that's what I do, friends. So that is all. That's my 10 tips. 10 tips for this video. I'll see you again with another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Bye!